I put myself between the charging ogre and our wizard, and raised my shield to deflect his blow.
All right, sounds like defy danger to me. Roll plus strength.
Well, that's a 4.
Good news, mark XP. Bad news, the heavy blow tosses you about 20 feet into a pile of what looks like vines. As you land, the vines begin to move around you.
Oh, wait, what? I want to discern realities. Okay, got an 8. That means one question, right? What's about to happen?
As the tendrils begin to make noise and move closer to your friend, it becomes apparent he's about to listen to that D&D podcast. Hello, everyone. Thank you for downloading this latest episode of That D&D podcast. Before we get to the recap, we will go around our slightly smaller table today and introduce ourselves. My name's Chris. I'm the GM for this campaign, as per usual, and I'll be playing a cave and maybe some monsters tonight.
Hi, I'm Adam. I'll be playing Oric the Rogue, and I will try not to walk us off any cliffs.
And just in case he fails in that, I'm Renee, and I'll be playing Sam the Ranger, who's probably better at avoiding the cliffs.
And I'm David. I'll be playing Zarka the Wizard, and I will try to pull the cliff's pants down.
Only to defuse a bad situation. That's fine.
Right. I mean,
Totally good taste.
yeah. If I pull their pants down, then they won't fall off it.
Exactly.
Right.
Nobody's ever shuffled off a cliff. It's always like a cartoon run. So last session, we had the full party. We were traveling south from First Conquest. Everybody was on a mission of sorts to make contact with other towns, other groups of people, get the word out that First Conquest exists and that they're looking for trade. They're looking for new people. Basically, you were going to be brand ambassadors for First Conquest. You got a sweet logo pendant to show off to everybody. You could talk about the perks of living in one of the few walled cities that remain in a sort of shitty world. So that's probably pretty good. And what we decided between recording the last session and this one is that we were going to try splitting the party to cover more ground and maybe let me kill everybody so you guys can explore some deeper interaction in smaller groups with blades and stuff. So this group, it consists of Zarko, Sam, and Oric, and they will be traveling into the Undertrails, which is a labyrinthine series of caves which may hold great riches and also great peril. So that sounds pretty fun, I guess.
Sure, it's mostly peril.
Maybe.
It's fun when other people are in peril.
Yeah. Peril is the capital of France. That was dumb, sorry.
Or silence judges you.
Yeah. Oric, I assume since you were the one who facilitated the purchase of the donkey, you get to make the decision on what happens with it. I do want to warn you that you are going through some possibly cramped quarters in a series of caves, so a donkey and cart may not be super great, but it's up to you.
Is this a pass to somewhere new, or is this we're going to be going in and out the same way most likely?
As far as the shitty maps you guys have would tell you, this leads to a different area than the way the other party went. The Undertrails kind of cuts through a mountain range, so they would.
Okay, so it is literally a pass underground.
Yes.
Okay, then yeah, well, I'll send the. I mean, I was kind of hoping to keep the card for more carrying of awesome loot, but it probably makes more sense to send it with the other group.
Do you have? Do you know offhand?
How many rations?
Yes. How many rations you guys had left?
We have 30 more uses, and so at 5 uses each, I believe. That means there should be 1 per.
Okay.
Or 2 per person.
I think
right?
it's
Is that my math
five
right?
five
No,
uses
5.
per ration bundle, which has 1 weight. So
yeah, we have 1 more. Everyone takes on 1 weight
Yes.
of rations from the cart. At least 3 of us do.
okay, and don't forget to add that to however many you've already had, particularly for your character, if you had any left from your previous expedition into the swamps.
Yes.
So after saying goodbye to the other group, bidding a tearful adieu to the donkey, is there anything else you guys want to do topside, or do you want to go spelunking?
Presumably we had enough time to have a little bit of a rest and level up, or is that coming later?
I'd say you could probably make camp and, psych yourself up for going into a creepy unknown series of caves. So that gives everybody time to make any prayers they need to focus on their well-being, regain. Every time you make camp, you have to eat one of your rations, but then you can you regain half your health, half of your max health. If you want to level up, you can do that if you have your level +7 in experience, which I believe Oric and Zarko do. So Oric, for level 2, you get to pick one advanced ability, and you get to put 1 point into one of your stats. So what ability are you taking? And I guess explain it to the listeners, if you would.
Sure, I am taking Envenom, which basically lets me use any poison that's not dangerous for me. It turns from applied to touch, meaning I don't have to make people eat my poison for it to take effect. I can, prick them with a needle, put it on my dagger, do whatever I want to do, and it still works. So yeah, basically it's for my sleepy time poison. I can now knock them out without having to make them drink poisoned wine. I just stab them with a poison dagger, and or more thematically, probably poison some sort of needle, and stab them in the neck. And I leveled up. I put my 1 point into Wisdom, bringing it up to a 16.
That gives you a +2 modifier on that. And Zarko, what did you pick for your level 2 advanced ability?
I picked Counterspell, which basically, when there's another magic spell being cast that will affect me, I basically gamble one of my prepared spells and test roll the 2d6 plus intelligence, and then on a 10 plus the spell's countered and has no effect. On a 7 to 9 I counter the spell, but then I lose the spell that I gambled on it, basically. So I can use my spells, any prepared spells I haven't used, to try and counter magic. Sounds pretty nice.
I agree. It's pretty good. I think also, since you're a wizard, you get to add a spell to your spell book. So which one of those did you pick?
Out of the level 1s that we've got, I chose Charm Person, where basically a person that I touch when I'm casting this spell will count me as a friend until they take damage, or until I prove otherwise, which is an interesting qualifier.
Yes, I like that. And where did you put your attribute point?
I put it into Dexterity, so I have a +2 modifier to that now.
All right, that brings you to 16, so that's all good. Everybody should be at full health. And Zarko, what spells did you want to prepare for today, or for after you guys set up?
Well, now I can do a total of.
You could do up to 3 levels of spells. So you could do 3 level 1s. If you knew a level 3 spell, you could do that one, but that would take up all your uses.
I think what I will do is I will do Speak with Dead, Magic Missile, and Detect Magic.
Okay. Does anybody else have any sort of narrative thing they want to do while they're setting up camp before you head out? Or any mechanical thing, like anybody else need to level up or change anything out about their character, anything crazy like that?
I feel like I've been totally remiss with this, so I think I need to acquire some more reading material from Zarko.
Okay. Are you doing that while he's writing in his spell book, or when are you taking the time to look through his personal library?
Maybe while he's just having a little snack off to the side, I'll just stroll by and grab something at random from his bag.
Inconspicuous whistle?
Yes. Twirling my baton or something.
Tra-la-la, not doing anything amiss. La-la-la.
Just taking a stroll.
Alright, so you roll me your Tricks of the Trade, I believe it's called?
It is a 9 this time, so I don't stumble into you.
On a 7 to 9, you are able to do it successfully, but I will offer you 2 options between suspicion, danger, or cost.
Well, I was thinking what dangerous would maybe be the content of the book.
Whoa, that's deep.
Yeah, how about you can choose which book you get from him, and he is suspicious of, he's able to kind of catch you doing it as you walk off, or you can quickly grab one before he notices, and there's a possibility that it will have some mentally harmful spells and symbols in it.
Well, As bad as that possibly can be, I think Oric would hate to be caught more than anything else. So I will avoid suspicion and risk reading the book later on and summoning Cthulhu or something. I don't know what kind of books Zarko keeps in his bag.
If it's written in Latin backwards in blood, do not read it in a ritual circle, just for your own good. Did you want to do anything else, or head into the creepy caves?
Caves are fine with me.
Do any of you have issues with caves by any chance? Are you finding out now that you're claustrophobic or anything like that?
I'm sure Oric's been in plenty of tight caves. Yeah, I couldn't stop it.
That one got away from you, huh?
No, I don't think Oric has any problem with that.
Yeah, I don't know that Sam wouldn't be claustrophobic. She certainly would prefer, being above ground to being in a cave. However, I think she's used to being in dark forests and I don't know, we'll say that she's had to search cave-like areas before. She doesn't like it, but it doesn't bother her.
Okay, I gotcha. Is Max having any kind of issue with this?
I think it would make Max really tense, especially given his stubborn nature. However, he's loyal and well-trained, so he will follow me anyway.
Okay.
But he would probably be a little bit, take a little bit longer to do things. Like he's going to be a teenager about it.
Yeah.
He doesn't really want to go into cave.
I can understand that.
Zarko didn't really want to go in the cave, but he figured that going with everybody who is going to the cave is going to increase their chances of survival.
Yeah.
So
that and probably getting away from the paladin may be a good thing after the whole pantsing incident.
yes, that's the other driving factor is Zarko feels that he needs to give Vultus some alone time.
Out of curiosity, Zarko, do you have the ability to light our way? Or do we need to reach into our magic bag of adventuring kit and produce a bundle of torches?
Oh, no, I can light for you, no problem. The question is, who is taking the lead? What should I cast light upon?
I don't know. What do you want to do, Oric?
It'd probably better not for me, just because I might have to sound things out, and I might need the darkness to help me.
Okay, I will take the lead then.
Okay. What would you like me to cast light on?
That's a good
Max.
question. Actually, I think Max. That's actually kind of what I was thinking.
Glowing dog.
He could have one of those little miner helmets, basically, just made out of magic.
Yes.
Does he have a collar or anything like that?
Yes, he does have a collar.
Okay, I'll put it on his collar then. I'll cast light on his collar.
Yeah, people kept harassing him, and so I finally had to put a collar on him just so that everyone knew that he belonged to, me. He was with me, and not just a random wild wolf.
The leash laws in First Conquest are really strict.
It's true.
yeah.
The more civilized the town gets, the more you got to put up with.
All right, Zarko, why don't you roll me a cast a spell?
A 7?
All right, so you get to choose one of these. You draw unwelcome attention or put yourself in a spot in, the entranceway to the cave.
Suddenly, bats!
And you take -1 ongoing to cast any spells until you rest and prepare your spells again. Or after you cast, the spell is forgotten and you must prepare it again to use it again.
I'll take unwelcome attention because there's nothing like something bad happening right away to set the mood.
Max's collar begins to glow. You set out a nice little beam of light, illuminating the room. The light still beams in from outside, and you notice that in the shadows there is some very faint glowing, possibly from some sort of bioluminescent life form on the ceilings at the periphery of where the light touches the cave walls and ceiling. There is a blind corner around, pretty much seems to be the only exit to the room aside from where you guys came in. And you do hear some scrabbling around in the rocks up ahead. You didn't hear the sound right up until you cast that spell, and then it seems that whatever's up ahead noticed your presence, and in return you notice them as well now.
Okay, well, seems like somebody knows we're here.
This might be a good time for our local resident ranger to maybe use her woodlands knowledge to sort of try to discern realities.
Yes, let's see.
See what might be in a cave like this.
Crap, I don't have the thing for that.
So if you want to use your accumulated knowledge about
Oh, that's
wildlife and such, that would be spout lore. If you're trying to analyze this situation, regardless of what you already know, that will be the discern realities.
Huh. I kind
I
of
think
feel
we
like
get a lot more out of it.
yeah. Well,
Sorry, go ahead.
what's the what are the things for that?
The stats, yeah. Discern realities is going to be a wisdom roll, and spout lore is going to be an intelligence roll.
Fuck. Can it be dexterity? Can I dexterity the shit out of this? Okay, I'm gonna go with,
Do some
I'm
mental
gonna
gymnastics.
backflip until I remember shit.
Yeah, why not? That makes sense to me. You said discern realities was wisdom?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then that's what I'm gonna do. 2d6.
Oh.
Fuck! That's
Ouch.
bad.
Hey, mark
That's the
experience.
Damn.
Yes, that is good. You get 1 experience for failing.
In quotation marks.
Well, we're just gonna blindly march in then.
Right, I have 2 experience already, right?
I think we have 4.
You had 4 already.
Really? I do not
Yeah.
remember that. There's
I can
nowhere on
break
the
it down for
character
you
sheet
later.
that does that. No, I don't care. I'm not
You got 2
questioning
from
that. I
session
just
1,
thought-
1 from session 2, 1 from session 3. I have a little GM page on the
Oh, that's
Obsidian
right.
portal where I mark it down.
We've had
Yeah.
3 sessions.
Time flies, right?
Okay. Well, since I'm editing the 5e stuff, that's where my brain usually is.
Yeah. So in an effort to determine what is up ahead, you find yourself kind of wandering absent-mindedly in that direction, where you kick a small pile of rubble over,
Oh god, that's so classy.
revealing a hole that the rubble was actually piled up around. It seems like somebody was trying to keep things from actually getting into this room. And with that hole uncovered, rats begin to pour out.
Oh, gross. Rats. Okay, rats.
Everybody's seen rats before. I mean, it's just sort of starting adventurers, that's the sort of thing that you get hired to do first off. It's, hey, we got rats in the tavern, clean them out. These are big and not really afraid of you anymore like other rats are. Think of them medium-sized cat-sized rats. And they are pouring into the room. Like, soon they're taking up most of the floor. They seem to be breaking into little groups and scrabbling towards you guys. So let me make a page real quick, and I'll drag you all over to it. I want this paste.
Because it hates you.
A little bit. Copy. Why is there a weird... Never mind, I'm not even...
That's where you banished the group last time when they were getting rowdy. Why there's something weird in that screen, probably.
Probably.
I'm still just seeing the overworld map.
Yeah, I had to make this, and then I'm copying you guys over to it, so...
So these are just several large piles of rats forming up, is what you said?
Yeah. I'm going to try to color them differently so that they actually show up on the... They're going to be weird blue rats, just because in the caves, you see...
Rats are blue.
They
Bioluminescent rats?
Yes, these are bioluminescent rats. They probably eat those weird things that are growing on the walls.
Okay, how many do you really need?
There's not that many. I'm clicking shit around. Hold on.
I'm just copying a bunch.
Bioluminescent rats.
Yes, bioluminescent rats the size of medium cats. It all rhymes, and that's great. So as these are streaming out, does anybody want to react in any sort of offensive way? Shout a racial slur at them,
Yes,
perhaps?
actually, I'm... Okay, you stole my response at the time that I was responding. Wow, that's super creepy looking, like... Weird fishies.
I mostly just made them blue so they would actually show up on the
No,
map
like,
because
it's
the
really
background's
cool.
bad.
It's like since there's like a pile of them, it looks like a school of fish, like, anyway. Let's see. What do I want to offense? I want to belittle their skill and insult their mother.
Suck at chewing.
Why don't I have... Fuck, I never can remember that I need to have, like, the page open for things to do, because it's not in Obsidian Portal. I don't want it to be. I want to attack them, but I don't remember what that is for me.
Are they looking aggressively at us? Are they
Are you
chittering
doing
or what?
are you doing a ranged attack or a hack and slash?
I don't know. I guess it depends on Adam's question whether they're like close to us or whether they're like hanging out somewhere.
Are they just floating out? Are they going towards the entrance? Because we're right next to the entrance still. So what are they doing? I guess I would like to take a minute before we open fire.
I was muted. Great.
Okay.
Sam, when you uncovered the hole and you heard all the noise coming up out of it, did you stay and see what was happening, or try to backtrack and get back with your friends?
I don't know. Like, what are they doing?
Well, currently they're just all filing out of there and moving towards you guys.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing.
You could try seeing if your accumulated knowledge knows anything about bioluminescent rats.
I don't know. Like, do they seem like dangerous, or are they just like a pile of rats? I mean, I don't think Sam was gonna be like thrown by rats. Like, it's not gonna be like, oh my god, rats run. I think she's gonna be do something if she feels like. Chris, stop moving the rats around. They only get one move. They only get one move action.
As you're trying to assess the situation, some of them begin to flow over your leather boots and attempt to gnaw holes into it to get to
but
your
you never
tasty
answered
elf
my
flesh.
question.
He's answering.
I am answering your question. Now you know what they're doing. There's rats biting at your feet. What do you want to do?
Well, I would move, except I can't move my character.
Okay, well, if you want to move back, just say you move back.
I
and I'll
want
move
to
you
be
back.
able to move my character.
Wants her character.
Like, okay, if they're moving out of the hole aggressively, I would already have moved back. Like,
Okay.
Does that make sense? Like,
Yes.
you know.
Do you want to fire an arrow at them, or wait till they get close enough to where you can try to slice their tiny rat heads?
I don't know that firing an arrow is going to do that much. I don't know that it's worth it. I mean, there's so.
Hey, you can hit ones and ones of rats
Yeah,
with those
it's going to be
things.
like ones and ones of damage. No, I would.
Or if you have that Farsight bow, you can hit like through infinite numbers of rats and kill them through walls and shit.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, I think I would just back up and like draw my whatever short sword. Short sword, I think, is my alternate weapon.
Yep.
I think that's what I would do.
Okay. All right. Well, they are streaming out, forming sort of a wall, and advancing on the lot of you.
Oh shit.
Do they have like tiny little shields and are advancing in a phalanx formation?
Minus the shields, yes. There is pretty much a wall of furry vermin. There's a vermin tide coming your way.
So, jeez. So some sort of hive mind situation here.
Sort of. Almost as if they're working for some regal rat.
Can I cast detect magic?
Sure.
Because maybe they're not just hungry and looking for food, and they're glowing because they eat glowing mushrooms. Maybe there's something more to this situation. I succeed.
10. Okay. Let me see what the detect magic spell says. One of your senses is briefly attuned to magic. The GM will tell you what here is magical. Which one of your senses is attuned to magic?
My smell.
Okay.
I love it.
Now describe what magic smells like.
Blue.
It'd
the
take
color
too long
blue.
to explain. You might as well ask me what blue tastes like.
What does blue taste like?
If you don't know, I can't explain it.
There's a faint irony smell coming off of the rats, and the hole stinks slightly more than they do. There is something connecting them to something else, but you're unsure of what the identity of the thing at the bottom of that hole is. There's magic coming off it, though. Anybody else want to do a thing, or are these things going to start chomping?
Fuck.
Darko, are you sharing this information? That
I'm gonna say I think there's something else in the hole.
okay. I'm going to try to clear a path through the middle of the rats so we can get past them.
Okay. Are you trying to cut a path through?
Yeah, I was basically trying to. How would I do that best? I guess I'd basically have to just start swiping, trying to clear them through the middle with my sword.
Okay.
So I guess it is hack and slash.
Yeah. Roll it.
It's a 9.
You deal your damage to the enemy, and the enemy makes an attack against you. So roll your damage first off.
1. I am attacking tiny rats with a sword. About how well it would work.
That's true.
So the main goal is to try to open up a path. So maybe Sam could try investigating the hole, or Max, whoever's glowing currently.
The ones that you hit are now... I'm changing them pink so you know which ones you guys have hit and where the slightly weaker spot is. You swing down, and in a wide arc, you free some of these rats from any sort of obligations to thought or continued life. But while they fall, others surge forward to take their place. There is slightly diminished number right in the middle of this rat phalanx. But by the time you get your sword ready for another strike, they're already gathering around your feet. So roll me a d6, and they do 1 piercing damage. So that 1 ignores your armor. So still take your one whole damage there, buddy. Somebody else want to act, or are they going to go again?
Okay, I'm going to. Okay, so here's the thing. Max is trained in hunting.
Okay.
Can I argue that since these are rats and I command him to attack them, that counts as hunting?
I would be okay with that.
Okay.
Okay. When you work with your animal companion on something it's trained in, and you attack the
It's
same
damage,
target,
right?
yes, you add its
won't do
ferocity to
intensive
your damage. Yes.
Okay.
So
Assuming that I can actually hit this thing. Okay, 2d6.
are you aiming for the same group that Oric was attacking?
May as well, because that way, because I think he's right that making a path through to figure out what's in the hole is more important. Attack an enemy, roll plus strength. Okay. I don't think I have any strength. I do not. God damn it! Fucking shit.
A 5.
It's just how Mom said it would go, eaten by rats.
So you get a 5. So what we're going to do is we're going to mark another failure experience. So you're really trying to level up tonight. That's what we're going to take this as. You're being a go-getter, and you're learning the hard way. You have Max get into the melee with them with you. It seems that he's actually more of a hindrance than anything, and you have to pull back before you hit him. As you guys back away slightly, you hear some sort of scratching sound, loud and sharp, trying to work its way up that hole. And there's a deep kind of raspy hissing. And it sounds like something big is on its way.
Yeah, Zarko is going to fire his magic missiles to go down through the center of that hole.
Turning off your targeting computer first.
Stay on target.
It's just point and shoot.
It's the digital camera of magic. All right, roll your spell roll for me.
An 8.
Okay. You have your downsides. Unwelcome attention,
Oh, no.
-1 ongoing, or forget the spell.
I'll take the -1 ongoing.
Okay. All right, and what is the damage on your magic missile? It's 2d4, right?
It is 2d4. Let me roll that for you.
Please do.
3. Damn it. Ah.
You hear a sharp and a sliding sound, and then the scratching starts again. Sorry, as those magic missiles hit their target, the outer wave of rats slowly starts backing up a little bit to the hole. And what were you going to say, Adam? Sorry.
I think trying to attack... This is going to be really bad now that they move like that. But okay, I think as trying to attack these rats with a sword is kind of futile. So I'm going to jump over them.
Okay, that would be, if you're trying to jump, I'm going to say defy danger dexterity.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay, glad we're on the same page. Roll it, girl.
That is a 12.
Nice. How are you trying to put some flourish on it, do some flips, or are you just going straight for distance on this one?
I think definitely getting higher off the ground to try to clear as much space as possible to put me closer to the hole while not falling in the hole. So
Okay.
maybe just a single forward flip.
Okay.
Seems appropriate.
That puts you rather close to this hole. You land. The rats don't even realize how you disappeared just a few inches higher, and you probably would have bumped your head on the low ceiling in this place, but you managed to sail over there. And when you land, you notice to the left of you there is a few piles of small to medium rocks near the hole. Or if you want, you could just start, I don't know, pooping in that hole.
No, I was gonna. If I can't see anything in the hole, I'm going to start grabbing the rocks and like some good medium-sized rocks and chucking them down in the hole in an
Okay.
effort to knock whatever's down there.
Okay, I'm gonna say for that, why don't you give me? That's not really melee. How about you? You give me your pick of hack and slash or volley to just huck rocks down there.
Volley seems to make the most sense.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's a 13.
Jesus, dude.
Holy
Alright.
crap.
What is your damage die? Okay, why don't you roll me 2 of them and take the better result?
I better roll this way. It's a 5.
Nice. Okay. You start hucking these rocks down super quickly. After a few tries, you could hear them flying down and not connecting with anything. And then one of them, you put all your energy into it, and there is a loud crunching sound as something wet and gurgly falls further into the abyss. After that, the half of the rats, roughly, break off towards the door and stream out into the open air, and these other ones try to go back into the hole and flee. Is anybody going to try to stop the rats, or are you just going to let them go?
Shit.
I have no vendetta against these rats.
I have no
I'll let
way
them-
to really stop a large group of rats, so.
Come on, Legolas. You're not even trying.
My elf eyes do not see a way to stop them.
All right. Now that, let's say 10 or 15 seconds later, you guys are the only ones in the room. Is there anything you'd like to do? You want to move forward? You want to change your mind and go back to First Conquest where there's a nice inn waiting for you?
I would like to proclaim that was highly disturbing, despite the fact that I don't usually mind rats, and I would like to avoid that situation in the future, please.
I just, out of curiosity, can I
Beckon Max over to shine some light down in this hole, or borrow his collar for a minute.
Yeah, I'll send him over to look into the hole.
I just want to know what we killed.
So, yeah, he'll walk over and, like, lay down, you know, next to the hole and lean over so he can look down and his collar's, like, shining light in there.
The light seems to have some trouble reaching all the way down here to the bottom of this pit. You see some rather large rat, roughly the size of Max, if not bigger, at the bottom. It has a long and weird tail. It seems like there's small rats either attached to or growing out of the tail,
Ew.
as if it was some sort of rat brood mother or something.
Jeez.
It's based on a rough estimate, it's probably 35 or 40 feet down in that hole.
Okay.
So, can we
well,
make sure to put the rocks back on this hole somehow?
shovel the rocks back down?
You can
Gross.
totally do that if you want to take a few minutes to just bulldoze all those rocks into that hole.
I would like to take a few minutes to bulldoze the rocks into the hole.
I'm not even going to make you roll for it. You bulldoze like a champ.
All right. Okay.
And let's proceed further into this wonderful, wonderful cave system that we found ourselves in.
Well, Zarko like dust himself off after we done putting the rocks on. He's like, well, it can only get better from here, right?
Oh god.
Sure.
At least it can't get any worse.
Thanks, Zarko.
I'm trying to find a little map marker token so I could, we could kind of map out this place as we go. Here we go. Boop. God, that's huge.
Like a joystick.
It's like a pin. You are here.
Yeah.
Here's the rat hole. And then exit. Okay. Sorry, this is sort of a thing that exists in my head and not on a map, so this
okay.
may be slightly messy.
Say I'm gonna send Max to go through the rest of the room, so that we can see if there's anything else in there that we need to examine.
Sure. In the room that you guys are in now, there is remarkably little. There's a few scraps of cloth. There appear to be a few small sun-bleached bones. There's a little bit of blood from some severed rat heads, which are still there. But you knew those were there since you put them there. But aside from that, there's really not a whole lot in here. It seems that maybe whatever came into this entrance cavern usually, picked up its mess or was picked clean by scavengers. Do you guys want to continue onward, or?
Yes.
Okay. So you follow this for a little while. You go around a blind turn, and the light from outside is non-existent now. So I assume Max is going to be kind of running the vanguard on this one, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
He'll be like slightly ahead of me. I don't want him too far ahead, but yeah.
Right. All right. After a little ways, you come to a fork. From what you can hear, there is a dripping sound. I guess to the left on the map side. It'd be to your right if you were facing the fork.
Okay.
To the left, it is quiet and dark.
Hmm.
Can Zarko make a spout lore? I mean, I want to say what I think I know about water sounds in caves, but I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Is that like meta knowledge or?
Give me a spout lore.
Okay. Figured I would ask.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
A 10.
All right.
You have the big book of caves. You've read it.
Yes. So you're trying to remember what you know specifically about just water sounds in caves?
Well, like, as far as, there's underground reservoirs and everything. So, would that be a way that we wanted to go or not, sort of thing?
The thing about underground reservoirs is they have a tendency in the dark and winding caverns to go from very shallow to very deep rushing water in rather quickly. But based on what you've read, it should be dripping faster than this. This seems almost like not mechanical, because water's not mechanical, but it seems like it's actually specifically timed somehow. Like there's a very regular interval to it, which seems a bit off to what you would be assuming for this.
Well, I'm going to voice that to the rest of the group and say that's interesting. The pattern of the water doesn't sound like it should if it was a natural underground formation of stalagmites or stalactites.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I don't.
It's an interesting thing.
Right. That's exactly what I was thinking. Like,
It's
I feel
very
like
interesting.
This is,
I'd like to investigate it.
I'd
but
love to investigate
might
as
be
well,
dangerous.
but this seems very.
Using some extreme caution here. Yeah.
Yes, I think we should definitely approach this cautiously, but I think we should find out what's going on.
Okay. So the vote is to head to the drippy room?
Drippy room.
Yes.
Okay.
Sam does not sing that. That was not in character.
Yes, it
Prancing
is.
into the room.
So when you round the corner, the room widens far in every direction.
It's bigger. Nope, never mind.
Up against this wall, I'm gonna say the northern wall, you see where the dripping is coming from. There is a larger bucket that seems to be filling with water, and then what it's doing is it's pouring into a smaller bucket, which for some reason is full of holes.
Guys, this is an underground water park. It's just what we've been looking for.
Up against the wall to the west, which is the opposite of where you guys came in, you notice that there is a large stone slab that, as the first bucket fills with water, it seems to raise maybe a few inches. Then when the water pours into the second bucket, it raises slightly further, but right when the water runs out of that second bucket, the slab lowers back down. And it's all been rather expertly carved to where there is very little in the way of a seam between, the slab and the wall around it.
Interesting.
Before we enter the room, since this seems very much has man-made objects in it, I want to make sure that there's nothing dangerous here. So I'm just going to study the room, the layout, see if I can determine anything before we go in.
Sure. You want to discern some realities?
Indeed.
All right. Why don't you roll it?
A 14.
What the hell, man?
Whoa!
But
That's max. I can't do any better than that. It's all downhill from here.
You got some hacks going on
So
here.
first, I just want to say you rolled a 12, and then a 13, and then a 14. By the next session, you're gonna be rolling 22 on 2d6. That's some bullshit. Okay, so that gives you 3 questions you could ask from the list. So why don't you start with the first one, and we'll go from there.
Okay. What here is not what it appears to be? I think that kind of closely relates to traps. Maybe not so specifically, but things that are hidden.
Yeah. There is a strange indentation somewhere in the middle of the room. I'm going to say right about here, I'm marking with a green X. You notice that with very careful inspection, it seems to be raised slightly, but it's colored to where it's the way the light falls in the room when you enter. It's really hard to notice, as if you want someone to unsuspectingly tread upon it.
Okay. Let's say, what should I be on the lookout for?
That.
Okay, I just want to make sure that there definitely was something bad. And then, what here is useful or valuable to me?
You know, it seems like somebody put a whole lot of work into keeping that door mostly shut, unless you know how to open it. So, odds are there's something pretty good behind it.
Okay.
Also, I don't want to interrupt, but feel free to, if you guys want to make notes on the map, that is totally up to you, and you are more than welcome to.
Okay, well, I will warn the rest of the group to avoid the center of the room. There appears to be some sort of dangerous trap in the middle. And so, I want to clarify how you were describing this bucket system.
Yes, go for it.
So, water came in the larger bucket, dropped into a smaller bucket, and the smaller bucket had holes in it.
Yes.
At what point was the slab going up or down? I don't know which way you were saying.
Once the first bucket filled, it seems to lower slightly, and that's what triggers it to dump. And once it starts lowering, that's when the slab starts raising.
So preventing the bucket from dumping or putting more weight on it might indicate that it lowers?
It may. Based on the way it's set up, the bucket, the top bucket is resting mostly out of sight. Like the top of it is out of sight, and it's pouring down into a bucket that is completely visible, and that bucket is the one with the holes in it. So if you were to manipulate any one, you might want to try the more available holy bucket.
Okay, and so as soon as it goes into the small bucket, it starts raising, or as soon as the bucket drains?
Yeah, when the bucket starts to drain, that's when the slab slowly starts to lower back down into place.
So blocking the holes might be our first course of action here. If we have just like a... Oh. Does that make sense, or does someone have a better idea how this thing works?
You mean you want us to stop the bucket from going down?
We want to stop the smaller bucket from emptying.
Oh, okay.
Because he said as soon as the water pours out of the small bucket, then the slab returns to its original position.
Well, yeah, Zarko has an idea on how to do that. He can cast his invisible servant to help plug the holes.
Oh.
This poor servant is so abused. You go pull his pants down. I did go put your fingers in those holes.
No, he just has to put his invisible hands around it.
Yeah. I was thinking just throwing like a blanket or something in the bottom. But I mean, any weight might work, I guess. I don't know if it has to be the water weight, but yeah, we can try something like that.
Zarko, do you want to cast your unseen servant?
Sure, yeah, we can have him prevent that, or he could try and hold the bucket up. Either way.
Well, it's the holes that are it's not dumping; it's the holes. It's draining out the bottom of the bucket.
Right.
Okay. All right. Yeah, he can stop it from draining out. I mean, basically, I put my hand there for a moment, then cast the spell, and then the invisible servant takes over. Or maybe not. So I failed on that. So I take my hand away, and the water goes through.
Okay, so what we're going to do, Zarko, you got one fail experience because you rolled a 6. You are able to cast your unseen servant spell. How do you know when you've cast that? I mean, you don't see him, so how do you know that he/she is there? Is it just like a feeling? Can you see them but nobody else can? Like, what's the deal with that?
I can sort of perceive, it's not like there's a full body there, but I can sort of perceive sort of the hazy aura where the object that's being manipulated is at.
Okay.
So like there'd sort of be like a ghostly outline of a hand there.
Luckily, you guys were able to discern the pattern of holes actually closely mimic a human's 4 fingers minus the thumb. So some not really seen by any of you, 4 fingers on each side. Plug 8 holes. The bucket fills up all the way this time, and as it slowly lowers, the slab raises. After a moment or two, or after a minute or two rather, it's a really heavy slab, so it takes a little while. It gets all the way to the top. You hear a clicking sound as another slab or something moves to block it, to keep it open. And at that very moment, 2 sharp blades come across where the buckets are, where you can see them set into the wall. Cutting off your view from that, you hear, and there is blood on where the blades have met. Unseen servant's hands are cut off.
What?
Your poor servant.
So you have access to the other room. Downside is you will not be able to cast Unseen Servant again until you find a way to make amends to whatever people that you draw from to bring them into this universe.
Oh, Mr. Meeseeks, no!
What the hell? That was super dark.
Zarko just thought he was, manipulating the fabric of reality. He doesn't know he...
Okay, I really believe that Discern Reality should have caught the hidden blades behind the bucket, but we'll let it go. Because,
They didn't exist until he fucked up.
Yeah.
Your failure brought them into existence.
Well, okay, I guess let's check out this other room.
Jesus.
We don't see invisible blood splurting everywhere, so I guess we don't really know too much about what happened.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit. I noticed that Max particularly is kind of disconcerted by this yell, but we're gonna go into the next room past the spooky slab.
Yeah, Zarko is also visibly shaken because that is not how he thought it worked.
It was just magical construct, not ripping someone from their home and forcing them to do your bidding.
I love how things are gigantic when they appear on this map.
Yeah, it really ruins the surprise when it's like, fucking 12-foot skeleton!
I'm sure they're all friendly skeletons,
Yeah.
right?
These are all fucking just skeletons, man. I don't know what you're talking about. Really? You're just gonna make me sit here like an asshole while none of these show up on the map?
Yes.
Great. Appreciate that. Fine, I'm gonna have to draw it since this thing wants to be a jerk. Okay, in the other room, you find 5 skeletons still with their clothes, which have now begun to rot away in the damp darkness of the cave. There's some mold growing on them. They are all gathered around what appears to be a crate of supplies.
Okay.
The crate is still sealed, though.
This sounds perfectly safe.
Yeah.
I understand you might be a bit shaken by what just happened, Zarko, but maybe you want to check for magic in this other room?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, let me do that. I'm gonna subtract 1.
Yes.
I forgot about that
Yes,
actually.
that's fine.
For the other roll, but it didn't matter. I still got a 10 for this one though. So.
Okay, so you cast with no problem. You're trying to do detect magic?
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing super magical in the room. Inside there are some things giving off a faint. Which one of your senses is tied to magic this time? Is it the same one?
No, I'm listening this time.
Okay. One of these is making a small chime.
These being the skeletons or in the crate?
Something in the crate.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it. It's just sounds like a faraway bell, basically.
Let me talk to one of these skeletons first.
Ooh,
Okay.
Good idea.
So you are casting Speak with Dead?
Yes.
All right.
An 11.
Very
Okay,
nice. Let me pull up the spell real quick. A corpse converses with you briefly. It will answer any 3 questions you pose to it to the best of knowledge it had in life and the knowledge it gained in death.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so first question.
How did you die?
No food. No water.
Who were you in life?
Merchant.
What's in the crate?
Wares to sell. And the body falls back. The skull had actually lifted up slightly to look at you as the eyes shone with an unnatural light, and a light also emanated from the mouth that sort of changed brightness as it was talking to you.
Yeah, that's normal, though. I mean,
Yeah, maybe to you. You've done this shit before. Everybody else is seeing this probably for the first time, but as it answers its third question, the light fades, and the skull falls backwards and hits the ground.
Okay. I think I want to take a chance at going in this room. I'd recommend one or two of you to stay in this other room just in case you need to open the door again for me. And I'm gonna try to. How big is the crate? Is it like big enough I can pick it up and take it out of the room, or do I have to open it and see what's inside?
The crate itself is rather large. It's bigger than like your arm span could get comfortably around. With two people, you could probably lift it and carry it out, provided it's not too heavy. But picking it up on your own is more of a girth than weight issue to start with.
Okay, I'm gonna go in and pop the crate, and be ready to jump back through the door if it starts moving.
Pop it open. Inside, you find 3 wrapped bundles, and in a small other container inside, with the top is actually not present. They seem to be in a sort of cloth enclosure so they don't break. You see 4 vials of a kind of roiling red and yellow liquid.
Okay, the bundles are the 3 bundles large or?
Think of it about the size of like a folded up t-shirt, maybe. It's about that big, like a t-shirt or newspaper size, maybe.
Okay, are your magical senses still going off, Sarko, or is it your spell still going for that?
It's just stuff inside the crate.
I know, but if I put one thing out at a time, can you determine which one was the magical one?
That's a good question. If he like holds it up, can I tell? Can the sound still go? Or
Oh yeah. I'll say it runs for a few minutes. I mean, I'm not gonna make you recast for something that quickly.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna hand the bundles out, the 3 bundles out one at a time.
Okay.
Nothing changes the tinkling of the bell.
Okay. Well, yeah, it seems to be whatever's inside the vials is magical.
Okay. Then I'll keep those carefully wrapped up, and I'm assuming since I tend to carry liquids very frequently, I probably have something to secure them in.
Yeah, I could say you have like a little potion pouch, or you could have like an apothecary's belt with little slots in it, for
Bandolier
vials.
vials. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Just don't drink the wrong one.
Yeah. I shouldn't be drinking any of them. Yeah. And then, I guess once we're back in the other room, check out what those 3 bundles were.
Sure. The bundles inside, you find it seems to be a sort of rudimentary first aid kit. It's got some cloth bandages. It's got some sort of antiseptic ointment from the smell of it. A small vial with what looks like smelling salts inside.
Then I guess we can hand out one to each person just so we have.
So what those are, in game terms, you have all-purpose medical kits. Each one can, if you have a few minutes of time outside of combat, you can use them on somebody, and it will cure the shaky or scarred debility if you have it.
Oh. Sam appreciates the potential usefulness of this.
Do those have a weight?
No, those are the materials are really pretty lightweight, so they're not going to add any extra to your burden.
Okay. And I guess we can head on out of here.
So you want to head all the way back to the fork?
Yes.
Yes.
If you would like to venture on that way, just a second. On the floor of this room, you find a backpack. There appears to be a gash in it. Some of the contents have spilled out. It looks like maybe some of it was picked up in a hurry and they ran away with it. But you find inside the spilled contents. Do you want to check it out, or do you just want to leave it be, thinking it could be a trap?
Well, this seems kind of careless for a trap.
Yeah, I think it should be checked out.
Okay.
I'll check it out.
Inside,
Does that disturb? Oh, I don't have to roll? Yay!
I'm not going to make you roll to pick up a backpack and look inside.
I was making sure. You never know.
Inside, you find a few wrapped portions of jerky, some sort of hard bread. You figure that could probably be usable for Probably 2 rations if you stretched it out hard enough.
Okay. I'll stick that in my pack.
Yep, and inside you also find a leather-bound book, or half of a leather-bound book. It seems that whatever cut the bag open cut the book down the spine.
Okay. Can I read the language in which it's written?
Yes.
Okay. Does it seem that whatever cut the pack, was it like a man-made edge, like a sword, or does it seem like a claw? Something like natural.
Are you talking about the book itself or the pack?
Either. I mean, was it the same event?
Yeah, like if it was a sharpened blade, it'd be pretty clean, but if it was like a claw, it'd be more ragged.
I'm just trying to discern, do I need to should we be looking for like a dangerous person or a dangerous animal?
I got you. Well, the backpack itself, on a cursory glance, it seems like it's been through some shit. It looks like it's partially moth-eaten. There's claw marks in it. There's blade marks in it. Like, whoever owned this has seen some times.
This is a risk taker.
Yes. The book, it's got some cuts on the cover, but the rip in the spine is more jagged, as if it was probably not done with a blade, either through force or a claw or something like that.
Okay, I'm going to tell the other two that we probably should be keeping our eyes out for some type of predatory creature, since it looks like the book was bitten. And then I want to see, what is it, a journal? Like, can I tell what it is?
Yes. Looking through the first couple pages, the name on it is blurred out. You know how usually somebody's like, the journal of this.
Right,
it seems that over time it either got smeared away, so you don't know who it belonged to, but you do have 5 journal entries in there. I could read them to you if you'd like.
Yes, I would read them.
Okay. So the first journal entry says 15th of Everburn, which, real world, July. Setting out today on my travels to head back home. I'm going to find the most beautiful thing in the land to surprise the most beautiful wife with. Marnie will be sure to forgive me for being away so long. I miss her terribly. The next journal entry is from the 9th of Redmoot, which is about 2 months later. It says, I thought we'd never arrive in this damnable town. The caravan was nearly washed away in a flood. It took us 2 days to dig it out of the muck. One of the mules died of exhaustion and the other one's sick. Oh, also I found a strange egg half buried in the mire. I'm taking it with me. It could be valuable.
Ooh. Next
entry is from the 24th of Icemoot, which is December. It says, I found it. A gorgeous necklace with a flawless stone set inside of it. Marnie will be so pleased. I also got the shopkeep to throw in a small cloth doll. I think Vela would like it. She'll be... my stars. She'll be 9 today. Do 9-year-olds like dolls? I've been away so long. The egg hatched today. It's some weird, hairless creature. Leathery. Looks kind of like a small dog. No hair, of course. It seems to like me. Weird beast. Ugly as sin and cute at the same time. Needs a name. Next journal entry is 5 days later. It says, I got waylaid by bandits out on the road. The dog thing ripped one's throat out before I even had time to cry out for help.
Oh.
The others ran off. One wet himself before he left. I ran away too. The dog followed me, hissing and yipping happily the whole way. Need to find a place to stay and figure all this out. There's some caves nearby. I guess I'll try there. Dog needs a name. Felix, maybe? Means luck. Not sure if it's good luck or bad that I found him, though. And the next one doesn't have a date on it. It just says, been here for days, wandering, lost. Food and water running low. Felix is bigger now. I never see him eat, though. Sometimes he disappears into the darkness for a few hours. Is he hunting?
Huh.
And that's where you get to the rip in the book.
Huh.
What we're going to do is we're going to end this session here, and you guys can explore more next session. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you everybody for downloading this latest episode of That D&D podcast. We hope you continue to like, share, subscribe, send us some emails, let us know what you think. Go to iTunes, leave us a review. That would help us a lot.
Yeah, also especially let us know how you like this new split group sessions. Let us know whether you want us to keep on trying these kind of new things, or if
we can plot railroad somebody back.
Put everything back the way it was, please.
Well, we already have that plot wizard. We should just use him again.
You actually find an underground railroad. Do you want to see where it goes?
What are these strange iron bars in the ground?
That D&D podcast is released under a Creative Commons 2.0 attribution, non-commercial, no derivative license. Tell your friends about us, but don't chop out the good stuff and don't sell our work. The intro music is The Last Ones by Jahzzar, that's Jahzzar. It can be found at the Free Music Archive. The outro music is Kopika, Kopeika, by Et, that's ET_, and can also be found at the Free Music Archive. All other copyrighted content is owned by their associated copyright holder.